Good noon, all of you. I hope I'm visible and audible. Good noon, Sanil. Good noon, Dharmi. Hi, Priya. Hi, Tanvi. Good afternoon, Makarand. Good noon, Shubham. Hello, Vijay, Gaurav, Anuja. Hi, Om. I'm good, Gaurav. I hope the same for you. Right. Good noon, Harry. So, another session wherein we learn some vocabulary through root words. Okay, so we've had about 3-4 such vocabulary sessions already, right? There have been these 3 parts of 50 vocabulary words, right? There was a session on root word based vocabulary. So, in that series only, in that ongoing series, we have this high frequency root word session. I'm good, Vijay. I hope the same for you. You guys can tell me more about yourselves, what you did, let's say, over the weekend. Yes. Good afternoon, Kinjal, Kashish. Good noon, Surbi. Hello. Hi, Bhumika. Okay, okay. So, let's begin. And again, this is called etymology. This is something all of you are aware of. Yes? Etymon plus legi. Remember this. What is etymon? When I say etymology, what is etymon? Yes, etymon plus legi, where etymon means origin. Etymon means origin, and legi means it comes from logos, which means study. So the study of the origin of words. Okay, so although we say that language is not science, however, language also has this relative scientific aspect to it that you can break it down. You can break a word down into its constituent parts. Okay, and these constituent parts have again come from various languages, primarily Greek and Latin. So, if you know the meanings of these parts known as roots, these parts that we break down a word into, if you know its meaning, then a lot of times you understand the meaning of the word better, you're able to remember the word better, and sometimes, not all times, sometimes you're also able to guess the meaning of a word. Right? So that is the usage, that is the utility of this etymology technique. Okay, so let's begin with our first question. It's a one word substitution. Which of the following words mean to state or assert? Yes. Let's see which of the following word means this. So there's only one correct answer. So means. Yes. So Bhumika, uh, uh, I would say that yes, you are on the correct path, but see that those that you are getting wrong, are you able to gauge in the exam that this is a difficult question and I would be probably better off, let's say, leaving it because I am unable to gauge the answer? Are you indulging in flukes and that is why you're getting them wrong? In that case, you shouldn't attempt those questions in the exam. Okay, so that will help you to reduce the negative. Otherwise, yes, if you're able to eliminate two options, if let's say you are getting 50% correct right now, then that's a good way to go. Okay, so C, B, C, all right. Anuja has given us a synonym also of aver, which is argue. So aver, she averred that he was innocent. So she stated this strongly, firmly. So to state something, to assert something, that means to aver. Aver is a verb here. Yes, so that is the purpose, Pranita. Let's make these words familiar. Okay, let's familiarize ourselves with these words. Right. So acolyte is something. Ever is the answer here, which means to state something, to say something strongly and firmly. Right. Acolyte is something that we discussed in a previous session. If you remember, we did some questions on word rearrangement, a specific question type of MAH, and there we were talking about Trump's acolytes, Donald Trump's acolytes. So there I told you, acolytes are sycophants. Acolytes are your are these people who are extremely obsequious to you, your followers, right? Who follow you around everywhere, okay? Who are obsequious, who are sycophantic towards you. They are your acolytes, right? So acolyte is not the answer here. First of all, secondly, it's a noun. Okay, so it could not come here. We were looking for a verb here, right? Then I think aplomb is a word that some of you must be aware of. The B is silent in aplomb. It's aplomb, right? A disciple also, yes, that is a synonym. Acolyte, however, carries a negative connotation, while disciple is a neutral word. So, she answered with aplomb. When the teacher, yes, Anuja, correct, correct. Uh, when the teacher asked her an unexpected question, she answered with aplomb. So, she answered with self-confidence. When you're very assured of yourself, when you are confident, that self-confidence is called aplomb. Again, it's a noun. Okay, you carry, some people carry themselves with a lot of aplomb. Some people speak with a lot of aplomb, right? So, self-confidence. Calmness, composure, yes, that's also the idea, right? You are very assured of yourself, and that's why you answer in a very calm, composed manner, right? And this is something that you must have noticed in emails. Yes, apropos our earlier conversation. Have you seen people writing this in their emails? Apropos our discussion, apropos our conversation. Yes, apropos our discussion. So, what would this mean? Apropos our discussion, I agree to the terms, let's say. So, aplomb and apropos both are actually variations of French words. They were originally French words that were then adopted in English, right? So, this comes from a plus plum, plumber, right? We don't call this person who fixes the various hardware, etc. in your house. This person is called plumber. The pronunciation is not plumber, which we often address him or her by, right? So, uh, plumber, a plum. A plumber has to take a number of measurements. Okay, so a plumber has to see that whatever he or she fixes is perpendicular to the floor, right? It's not leaning here and there. So they have these instruments that actually measure the perpendicularity, the steadiness of whatever they are fixing onto the floor. So according to this is what it means. A plumb, according to measurement, according to steadiness, according to perpendicularity. Similarly, apropos is a French word which means according to or regarding, with regard to the purpose of something. Okay, so as per our conversation, as per our discussion, according to. Apropos simply means according to. Right? Again, a French word. Concerning, yes, regarding. Absolutely correct. With respect to. Correct, correct. Okay, Tanvi, Vishal, Sanil, all of you are correct. So, French words adopted in English. The prefix that we're trying to learn now, you must have realized, is a. Okay, this is actually a prefix, and this is sometimes it sometimes takes the form of ad also. It means to, towards, according to, towards, according to, right? So, ever, ver means the truth, to state the truth, right? Acolyte, again, basically someone who gravitates towards you, is very obsequious towards you. Abeyance, if something is kept in abeyance, this is a formal term. You will find it being used in legal context also, abeyance. So if I say these funds are lying in abeyance, or this particular maturity amount of an insurance policy is lying in abeyance, that means nobody is claiming it. No owner has shown up. No person is claiming this amount. Okay. In a general sense, it means to put a halt to something. Basically, to if something is in abeyance, it is currently at the time, for the time being, it's not happening. Right. For the time being, we have put a stop to it. Abeyance. Again it's a noun. Okay, so noun, 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 right? They could not come. Ever, apropos. Okay, apropos means as per, right? Or according to. Ever means to state, right? Okay, now, so this is the prefix that we have learned. Okay, we have also learned what ver means. Ver means ver veritas, it means the truth, right? Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at another question. This is easy. Let me see what you say. Yes, someone who can speak or use many languages. All right, pretty easy. Okay, so this is what I've got, C, D, A, D. All right, so basically all the options except D. Okay. So, Om, no, it's not related to obey. Abeyance is not related to obey. Then another question is word bar. Oh, I have got this question so many times. Is word bar enough? What do I tell you? What do you want me to say? Yes, it is enough. Is that the answer that you want to hear? Because I keep getting this question, and I think students expect a yes as the answer. They don't like when I say no. So, see, if it's for vocabulary, I can't say that anything can ever be enough. So I would be lying to you if I say, yes, yes, do this. The authorities, MACT authorities or CAT authorities or non-CAT authorities, they will frame questions from word par made easy only. But that's not how it works. You can get any word out there. Our our job is that yes, we acquaint ourselves with as many high frequency words as possible, words that are used often, which is what we are doing here. However, you can't just reduce vocabulary to a book. That's not how it works. Okay? All right. So I've got a lot of B's and C's, which is what I was expecting here, right? Um, and I absolutely agree that B or C, they are very good candidates, B and C, very close options in fact. Now I am looking for a person. That means a person. So you have to basically give me a noun here, a person who knows and is able to use several languages. Can you uh, basically you can describe that person as multilingual, but if you have to name such a person, if you have to give such a person a name, the name will be polyglot, and that is why C is a better answer choice here. So ideally, see, I don't expect such close options in your exam, but I gave it to you to tell you the difference between parts of speech. That sometimes grammar can be of help. That's why in the previous question also I was telling you, okay, this is a noun, this is a verb. Sometimes, okay, in limited cases, grammar can be of help. Here, this is bilingual is an adjective, and anyway, Bi means two. So somebody who is very well versed with two languages is bilingual. Multi, many. Lingua is actually tongue. Lingua means our tongue, right? That's why lingua franca. You must have heard of this term, lingua franca, the language of the people. The language that is commonly spoken and understood in a place is called the lingua franca of that place, right? So, lingua is tongue, bi is two, multi is many, poly again many, glotta again means tongue. Glotta again means tongue, right? So, a polyglot is a person who knows and is able to use several languages. Multilingual is the quality that this person possesses. Okay, multilingual is a quality that a person possesses. Polymath, yes, it should be he. If I were he, Praveen. Okay, polymath. You know what? Mathematics, they and this polymath also, they come from this root called matheneme. Matheneme actually means to learn. So somebody who is learned in multiple subjects is called a polymath. Like Leonardo da Vinci. We know him as a painter, but if you read about him, he was a polymath. He was he was actually, he used to design weapons. He used to draw maps for the designs for these weapons for the king at that time. He was good at mathematics also, right? So polymath, somebody who's multi-talented and well versed with multiple subjects, right? Then Renaissance man, Renaissance we know was a period where did this phenomenon called Renaissance, where did this period exist? What was the site of this period? Tell me. Italy? Yes. So basically, Renaissance was a period in Italy wherein it's basically art, let's say, not just business and economy, but art, architecture, even science, right? All of these things flourished. That period is called Renaissance. And a Renaissance man, actually, people at that time used to be very talented. So Leonardo da Vinci belongs to the Renaissance, okay, belongs to that period. So Renaissance man is used to refer to again to a multi-talented person, to a multi-talented person. Okay, multi-talented person. Omnicompetent is a synonym for it. Omnicompetent. Omni is all, competent, having a number of competencies, having a number of abilities. So that person is called a Renaissance man. Although it should be a Renaissance person to be gender neutral, but then during those times, man was used to refer to human beings. So Renaissance man. Right? Hope this is clear. Polymath, Renaissance man are similar. Then poly means many. Re means again here. Okay. Nas, this nas comes from natre. Natre is a French root which means to be born. So to be born again. So it was basically a rebirth or revival of art, architecture, this thing, science, etc. Okay. Now coming, linguist is a person who basically is trained in, and he or she basically, his profession is to actually analyze languages, to study about languages. So such a person is called a linguist, right? So in fact, various let's say uh, art colleges, okay, humanities colleges have these linguistics departments that deal with language, right? So a person who studies linguistics, which is basically language, that person is called a linguist. Okay. All right. Correct, correct, correct. Absolutely, absolutely. Punarjanam. Right, Vishal. Punarjanam. Correct, correct. Cartographer, in which sense have you related cartographer? No, cartographer is a person who designs. Acha, okay, you are talking about Vinci. Yes, yes, Vinci was. Correct, correct. Okay. All right. So, bache, the difference between multilingual and polyglot is that multilingual is an adjective, yes, whereas polyglot is a noun. So, if I have to basically give the name of a person, what will such a person be called? The quality of that person is that he or she is multilingual. But what will you call such a person? You will call him or her polyglot. Okay, so that's the only difference here. And because we had to choose just one option, we'll choose the better one. Right? So very close options. All right. Hello, Sanket. So all of these roots we've learned here. I hope they are clear to you. All of these, pretty easy. Lingua, glotta, natre, manthenine. I think these are new for you. Okay then. Tell me what should be the synonym of this word. And my question, I'll not explain the meaning of the word that is given here because we've already done this word. We've already done this word in one of our previous sessions, in a, I think, vocabulary session only. So tell me, what should be the answer for this? Yes. Okay, so there's a question here. Just a second. Is polylingual correct? Yes, yes, polylingual is also correct, but it's used less frequently. However, it is correct. It's a word. Illuminati, this is from a Dan Brown novel. Illuminati was the name of a group. So we have luminaries. I think probably you are luminaries. If I call someone a luminary in their field, luminary is an eminent person in his or her field, right? Lum means light. right? So luminary person who shines in his or her field is a prominent, eminent personality in his or her field. That person is a luminary, right? Multilingual, when you want to describe a person who speaks multiple languages. So she is a multilingual woman. Multilingual woman. Okay. Or she's a multilingual guide. Let's say she's a tourist guide. So multilingual guide. So I am describing this guide here. Okay. So yes, it also means someone who speaks or is well versed with multiple languages. Priya, same meaning as polyglot. However, polyglot is a noun, multilingual is an adjective. So I've got A, B, C, E, D. Okay, everything I've got. Repugnant. Do we remember this? The meaning of this word repugnant. It's an adjective. If you find something repugnant, you find it. See, repug. Remember we discussed the root pug in one of our sessions. Pug is actually a fist and it is used in the context of fighting. Right? Pugilist. A boxer is called a pugilist. Pugnacious, a person who likes to, is very belligerent, likes to fight all the time. Pugnacious. So pugilist is a boxer. Pugnacious, someone who likes to fight. In fact, the dog Pug is called a pug because if you look at its face, it resembles a fist. Okay. So the name Pug comes from there. Repugnant. You want to fight it. You want to fight back something. You find it so repulsive, disgusting. That is repugnant. Okay. So, what should be the answer now? Tell me. Pranita has answered correctly. Disgusting. Obnoxious is a synonym. Correct. Correct. Okay. So, Bhumika is giving us a GK fact. Find out more about this guy. I'll also find out more about him. Right. So, uh, which options can be easily rejected? I think perceptive cannot be a synonym of something as negative as repugnant. If you're a perceptive person, you actually understand your surroundings, understand the mood of the person in front of you very easily. You're a discerning person. Okay, you're a discerning person. You have a sense, a good grasp of your surroundings, the atmosphere, basically the not the literal atmosphere, the atmosphere of a place, as we call it. Right? So that's when you are perceptive. Now, exception. Exception. That means something that does not follow the norm, right? So exception also does not fit here. Accepting. Remember we did this in our close test in a grammar when I was telling you that accepting means except for. It is nothing but a fancy word for except for. So again, this does not fit. So what should be the answer then? Between A and B, I think now you can very easily tell me. I have got quite a few B's. Good, good, good. B is the answer. Yes, abominable. Correct, correct. Abominable is also a synonym along with disgusting. Abominable. Okay, so exceptionable is the answer. Acha, I got B's. B is not the answer, right? A receptacle. Something that receives. Something that receives. Basically a container in which you can put something is called a receptacle. Right? If you read some novels that are based in, let's say, the 16th, 17th century, there you'll find this word being used, a receptacle. Right? So, in fact, when we talk about wine and wine, etc., also in the context of the church, we use the word receptacle there also. Right? So, exceptionable is the answer here. A, not B. Okay? Exceptional and exceptionable. Who will tell me the difference? Come on, we've discussed this. Exceptional and exceptionable. बताओ जल्दी से. Exceptional, exceptionable, commonly confused words. If I call you an exceptional person, That means I am praising you. It's a positive word. That means you're outstanding, right? But if I call you exceptionable, if I find your behavior exceptionable, usually it's used with a person's behavior. If I say, that was exceptionable behavior, that was some exceptionable behavior. That means that was objectionable. That was not good behavior. That could have been obnoxious behavior also, right? So again, a negative word, that means something that you find objectionable, something that repels you, something that's obnoxious, right? So that is exceptionable, and that is the answer here. Okay, A is the answer here. Extraordinary is exceptional. Exceptional is the positive word. Exceptional is the positive word. Exceptionable is not the positive word here. Okay. I hope this is clear. How is exceptionable? Because of the meaning. That is why it's a synonym. Okay. Something that's that you find very disapproving. That is exceptionable. So that kind of behavior would, of course, be something repulsive to you, offensive to you, right? Okay. Okay. Now. Exceptional is positive while the other is negative. Correct, Sanil. Correct, correct. So I hope this is clear. Pugil is pugnacious. Yes, they have the same root word. Absolutely correct. Okay, so these are the roots that we've learned. Can you tell me the meaning of sept then? Sept was present in quite a number of words. Exception, accepting, exceptionable, exceptional, right? So many similar words we've done. So sept was present in all of them. What does it mean? Yes, tell me quickly. So, in fact, let me add pugno or pug to this, right? So, if I say receptacle, basically, it takes something back, isn't it? It takes something back. Perceptive person takes in, such a person will take in his or her surroundings very thoroughly, is able to take his or her surroundings in, basically absorb very thoroughly. Exceptionable, something that you can, basically it stands out, you can take it out from the crowd. Exceptionable in a bad sense, it stands out, right? So sept means to take. Sept means to take, right? That's the meaning of this root that was present in quite a few words here. Okay. Then xe means out. Re here means back. Re can also mean again, like in repeat. Re can mean again also, but here it meant back. Receptacle, something that takes back. Okay, a container. Per here meant thoroughly. Per can mean through also, but here it meant thoroughly. Now pugn, you said absolutely correctly, it means to fight. So pugnacious, pugilist, impugn, correct. Somebody mentioned impugn earlier. Absolutely. When you impugn something, you dispute it. Impugn simply means to dispute. Right? So this is what we have learned through our third question, I believe. Yes, our third question for the day. Yes, let's come to an antonym question now. Let's see what you say. Yes, to receive is to actually, yes, take something. Correct, correct. Gaurav. All right. So, phlegmatic. How many of you remember doing this? I even showed you a picture for this word, phlegmatic. That will tell me how many of you actually retain the words that we do in the classes. So, what does phlegmatic mean? Tell me. I think if you know the meaning of phlegmatic, then this will become easier for you. Okay. Sanvil and Tanvi have answered. Harry and Chaya have answered. Okay, I've got 3 A's now. So, Chaya has answered again. All right. So, Om, Shruti, Anuja, they also agree with Tanvi and Sanil. And Gaurav agrees with Chaya, Harry. The 4 humor theory. Very good, Bhumika. Very good. This tells me that you remember things that I tell you. There used to be this theory that was prevalent in our ancient times when we didn't know about hormones, when we didn't have much knowledge of our body, right? So at that time it was believed that our moods, they are caused by some fluids in our body. Okay, so there were four types of such fluids that were identified. So, according to these four types of uh, fluids, four modes were assigned to human beings. That, let's say, when a person has excess of blood in his or her body, blood, the Latin name for blood is sanguinaire, then the person is actually optimistic, sanguine, sanguine mood, optimistic, cheerful mood, right? When a person has excess of this uh, fluid called black bile, the fluid was called melancholia, then the person became sad, melancholic, right? When a person had excess of yellow bile was known as choler, choler, choler. Then the person became very irritable, choleric. And when the person had this green viscous fluid, phlegm, that we know as something that we release when we have cold cough. So when a person has excess of this phlegm, then this person became very unemotional, phlegmatic, unemotional, not easily affected, calm, composed. Stolid is a synonym, not an antonym. So A cannot be the answer, right? A cannot be the answer. Good, yes, correct, Harry, absolutely. Good, Chaya. Repugnant, yes, we can say that it means hateful. Yes. Impassive, yes, correct, Pranita. In fact, Pranita has phrased it very aptly because phlegmatic is not something that's a very, it's not very complimentary word, in the sense it's not a compliment. Because phlegmatic, while it means calm and composed, it also means unemotional. So it's a quality that will be appreciated in certain circumstances. Let's say when you're a soldier and you're fighting on the border, but it may not be appreciated in our day-to-day life, right? Okay. Yes, good, good, good. I'm happy that you remember these. Antonym, we had to find out. C is the answer, excitable. Somebody who can be easily excited, right? So that is the antonym here. Good, good. Okay, so now here in these words, what is the common root? Find out what is the common root in these words. In four of these words, it exists. Let's see what you say. Solicitous, excitable, resuscitate, solicitor. So sit is what we are dealing with. This root means to move something, to basically to stir something, to stir up something, right? So if you are acting in a solicitous manner, okay, if you are showing solicitous uh, care towards someone, that means you are really concerned. You are very concerned about their well-being. That is solicitous, right? Nurses are expected to be solicitous. Excitable, somebody who can be stirred up very easily. Resuscitate, re means back. So basically to revive someone, to stir them back to life, to move them back to life. Solicitor, this I think you would know, this term solicitor. Yes, Bhumika, stoic can be a synonym because a stoic person is also expected to remain calm, composed, and not affected by various events in his or her life. He or she is expected to be relatively unemotional. Absolutely, stoic is a synonym. Okay. Now, yes, so solicitor. You must have heard this word in a legal context. Solicitor. So if we found out the root word, then it became the odd one out. Which one? Stolid. Stolid was the odd one out. I just included this to confuse you. That was the only purpose. Sit. All the other words are sit. Now, solicitor is your lawyer, no? Yes, solicitor general. Absolutely. Solicitor is basically your lawyer because this person actually moves a petition on your behalf. This person urges the court that your petition be accepted, your case be heard. That is why solicitor, right? So sit means to move, to stir up, to urge. To move, to stir up, I'm sorry, to urge, right? Stir up, sorry, single R, right? Can we say tranquil? We can. Yes, it's a similar word. It's a similar word. However, tranquil has a positive connotation. Tranquil has a positive connotation. Phlegmatic, on the other hand, it has a neutral sort of a connotation. It is not positive, at least. Okay. Then, all right. So, E, X were present in excitable. I hope you realize this. So, E also means out. X also means out. In certain words, it's used as E. In certain, it is used in the form of X. Re means back and again. So here we used it as back to revive, to let's say vivify somebody, okay, to revive someone, to revitalize someone. Right. So I hope you've learned some words today. Yes. I mean, the session is not over yet. Don't think that the moment I show this live wala slide, everybody thinks that. So we've learned some words. We are yet to learn some more words. Again, I hope some of these are new for you. So, for instance, one of you said that these words are not familiar. So, that is the purpose of the session, to familiarize those words that are not familiar to us, right? Okay. So, let's have a look at this fill in the blank question. She has no dash about what she has done. She has no dash. They are prefixes, Sanskar, and they mean out. Okay, prefixes that mean out. In is a prefix that means enter. E and X mean out. Okay, she has no dash about what she has done. Okay, all right, others, what do you say? We've done some of these words. B, E, all right. What else? B also I got, okay. All right. So, relatively easier question because we have done this word compunction earlier and you may have heard it also, right? A high frequency word. Compunction means regret. This is what I wanted to say, no guilt, regret. So, she has no guilt about what she has done, right? She has no regret about what she has done. So, compunction. The prefix that I'm trying to teach you here is com, of course, you must have realized this. Com, we did earlier that it means together. Now there is another meaning that com has, right? So it means thorough, thoroughly, right? It also, so basically with intense force, that's the meaning. With intense force, with intense force. That is another meaning of com, and that is the meaning that we're trying to understand through these words, right? So compunction, punctus, point, prick, means if you know your actions prick you thoroughly. You've done something bad and it is pricking you thoroughly. That's when you have this feeling of compunction. Comes from punctus. Punctus means point, to prick. Right? We've done this. We've done this. Quite a few words from this. So, this is the answer. Now, commendation. Commendation. You could have related it to recommendation, right? When you recommend someone, of course, you probably like that person, how they work, okay, and that's why you recommend them, let's say, to another employer, for example. So, commendation is praise. Commendation is praise, actually. If a movie receives commendation from, let's say, various movie critics, that means it's a good movie, it's a well-made movie, in their opinion, right? Commendation is praise. So no, that cannot fit here at all. Discomfit is a verb. You know, her words, her words discomfited me. Her words discomfited me. That means they made me feel uneasy. They made me feel uneasy. Embarrassed. That's when you are discomfited. Right? So this, it means reversal of a situation. Comforted, calm here means, you're very put together, you are not at all embarrassed, and suddenly someone embarrasses you. That is discomforting. Right? Hope these are clear to you. Yes, correct, correct. For Sonali Tanvi for commendation, correct answers. Just saw your messages. Now, who will tell me the meaning of complicity? Complicit. She was dash in the crime. So she was complicit in the crime. She was an accomplice. Accomplice is the noun here. Accomplice. Accomplice is a noun. She was an accomplice in the crime, or she was complicit in the crime. So when you are involved in, you are thoroughly involved in something bad, that's when you are complicit in it. Right? Click means folded, involved. Complication also comes from here. Okay, a problem that is not an easy problem. Commendable, yes, commendable is actually an adjective form of commendation only. Absolutely. Comport. Okay, comport is a verb. The way he comports himself, it's a very formal word. You will not actually see people using it in their conversation. The way he comports himself is commendable. The way he behaves, actually, comport is behaves. The way he behaves is commendable. Okay, so basically behaves thoroughly well. That's the idea. ठीक है? Correct. Is it clear to everybody? Accomplice, accomplice. That's the word. Accomplice is a noun. Correct. Tanvi Sonali. Correct, correct, correct. So this was the root. This was the prefix com here, and here it was used in the sense of thoroughly. Punctus, you understand, break or point. This reversal. This is used for reversal. So, for instance, to disregard something, to not regard it. So, reversal, not. Flick, fold. Okay. These are the meanings of these roots. Right. Things are clear to us. Anything that you wish to ask in what we've done so far? Anything you wish to contribute? You're welcome. All right. Comport is a verb which means to behave. And usually we use it when we're talking about, let's say, behaving well. Okay, so if somebody comports himself or herself in an impeccable manner, that means they behave very well, right? Okay. So he criticized his opponent of making dash statements on important policy matters. What kind of statements was his opponent making? Were these seductive statements on important policy matters? Is that possible? Okay. Vishal says E. He was making seductive statements on important policy matters. Okay. B, C. Alright. Om also says E. Ash says C. Okay. B. Okay. So, Ayush, Ash, you said C. Why do you feel C should be the answer? Gaurav says A. Because A wasn't covered yet. So, Gaurav said, okay, let me just contribute A to the discussion. And then Tanvi said D nahi cover hua shayad, let me just contribute D. Uh, Conducive. The word that I've written is conducive. Okay, so let's discuss this. First of all, you should have rejected E right away. Right away, it should have been rejected. Seductive is used in the sense of sexual matters. It can't be used here. Okay, how can you make seductive statements on important policy matters? So, no, this is related to sexual activity, to actually induce someone into sexual action, sexual activity. That is called seductive, right? Does not fit here at all. Okay, then conducive. If the environment is conducive for something. So let's say our work environment is conducive for concentrating on important projects. What am I doing today? Environment. Our work environment is conducive. It is conducive to concentrating on, let's say, important projects. Right? So conducive is enabling, something that facilitates something, right? So the root that we're trying to do here is called ducer. Basically, you can remember it as duck or duct, whatever actually you are able to remember easily, duck or duct. So it means to lead, just like a duct also leads something somewhere, to lead. Okay, so this is to lead someone into sexual activity. This is to lead, basically to bring something about, to facilitate something, to basically facilitate the happening of something, right? It brings about something. It leads us to do something, to facilitate the happening of something. This is a positive word. It's a positive word, conducive, right? So I cannot say that he was making conducive statements. Positive word, I don't need positive word. I need a negative word here. Eliminated. Now, these three are left: inductive, deductive. Now, those who are saying A or B, how did you decide whether his statements were inductive or deductive in nature? They could be either, right? If you've done deductive logic, inductive logic. Deductive logic is, see, deductive statements would be basically those that bring, basically that conclude something, conclude something narrow from something broad, take away something narrow from something broad. Okay, inductive is the opposite. They basically make a broader conclusion from narrower assertions, narrower reasons. So I don't know this. I simply don't know this. But criticism, why to criticize either of them? Criticism would happen when a person's statements are reductive in nature. Reductive. Yes. So reductive means, yes, elimination would have worked here. You must have heard this word simplistic. See, simplistic is different from simple. Okay, simple is uncomplicated. Simplistic is when, some people have this tendency that they would try to reduce a complicated matter. They would unnecessarily try to simplify it when it cannot be simplified. Okay, so that is called simplistic. It's a negative word. Same is the meaning of reductive. When you basically reduce something that is very complicated to some components, okay, in a very crude manner, in a manner that shows that you don't really understand the gravity of the problem, you don't understand how complicated the problem is. So reduce se bana hai word reductive. Okay, the word has been formed from reduce, to lead back to the basics without a complete knowledge of the matter, right? So that is the word that fitted here, reductive, and duct is the root that we have done through this. All right. He was criticized because he was making a statement from a general law without considering the current situation. So, okay, you are saying that in that case, inductive can also fit. Yes, Anil, that's what you want to say? So he was criticized. He criticized his opponent of making inductive statements on important policy matters. See, I'm not saying that inductive would be completely wrong here, but when it, the word that fits the best here, you have to choose the best out of the lot, because there is criticism here. Reductive is the best fit. It is a negative word. It implies that your opponent does not understand the matter at all. It is a perfect way to attack your opponent, okay, in politics. So that's why this is the best out of the law, right? Okay, let's, all right. So in inductive. So in here means when you induce something, in means into. You bring something, you basically enlarge, expand something, okay. Deduce, you basically take something from something else. Con here means together, conducive. Con here means together. Re here means back. Okay. Okay. Inductive and deductive again. See, deductive, this is something that we cover in logic also. These are two types of logic or two types of arguing, two types of expressing your viewpoint. Okay. So if I say all my classes happen at 12 noon, right? It is 12 noon. All my classes happen every day. Let's be very clear. Every day at 12 noon. It is 12 noon right now. What can you conclude from these two? You can be absolutely sure that my class is going to happen right now. You can be absolutely sure about it, right? Because all of them, so this is a broad thing, right? Because all of them happen every day at 12 noon and it is 12 noon right now. So today's class is going to happen. So from something broad, you've concluded something about right now, about the current moment. This is deductive logic, right? On the other hand, inductive logic. So if you say on Tuesday, if you say, today the ma'am's class happened at 12 p.m. On Wednesday also you make the same statement. On Thursday also you make the same statement. And on the basis of that, you conclude that probably ma'am takes classes every day at 12 p.m. From this you concluded. From these 3-4 observations that you have, you said, you know what, probably her classes happen every day at 12 p.m. So this is inductive logic. Okay, I hope it is now clear what I mean to say, from broad to narrow and from narrow to broad. All right, all right. So I hope this is clear. And yes, now we can come to another question type. So this was fill in the blank. So this is a question type for you, word replacement. You have to replace this given word here. Yes. Tell me what the answer should be. Yes, let's see what you say. Power outage, in case you're wondering what this sound is. Okay, so I've got multiple responses by now. I see a lot of B's on my screen. Okay, and I'm very happy that all of you say B here because most of you say B here because B is indeed the answer. Okay, progeny is the word that I'm looking for. Offspring, the synonym is progeny. Okay, progenitors on the other hand, who are these people? Progenitors? Yes, progenitors are the ancestors. Progenitors are ancestors, right? Progeny, offspring. Primogenitors are also your earliest prime means first, right? So primogenitors are your earliest ancestors, right? Forebear is again a synonym of progenitor. Again ancestor. And these are two commonly confused words, forebear and forbear. For and for. Yes. So, progenitor, yes, your ancestors. Correct, correct, correct. What is seductive? Seductive word, did I write seductive? Oh, so, seduce, right? To seduce someone. I mean, surprising that you haven't heard the word. To seduce someone is to basically entice someone into sexual activity. Okay. So that's the meaning. So if something is seductive in nature, that means it is of such a nature. It is enticing that way. Right? Hope this is clear. Now, coming to forebear. Forebear is ancestor. Forbear. If I say, she forbore herself from acting. So I'm using the past tense of the verb. This is the verb. She forbore herself from acting at that moment. From saying something at that moment. Okay, basically she didn't say anything. She forbore herself from saying anything at the moment. She was so angry. Still, she forbore herself. That means she restrained herself. She restrained herself. So forbear is a different word altogether. It means to restrain yourself. Okay. So here this bear means existing. Okay, here basically this bear means to carry. You carry all that anger in yourself only. You don't display it, you don't express it, right? So, forbear. Forbear simply means to restrain. You could restrain yourself from doing anything there, right? So, gen is one of the roots that we have learned from here. Gen means birth. Genes also comes from there. Genealogy comes from there, right? So many genetics comes from there, etc., etc. Right? Eugenics comes from there. So, for means before, earlier. Okay, this bear is actually be plus er, to be, to exist. Okay, whereas this bear is to carry wala bear. Right? So, these are the words that we've learned. Yes, pro means forward. Progeny, the ones that you've birthed forward. Correct, correct. Refrain, Abhilasha, Sanil, absolutely correct. Okay, so I hope things were clear to you today. The words that we've learned, you remember them, you will revise them. That's my hope, right? So I can see some of you are able to recall the words that we do in previous sessions. That's why I make it a point to include some words of the previous sessions also, so that I see how much you remember, right? So hope this was useful for you, and these were all high frequency words. I made sure that from my end, right? So I'll see you tomorrow with another session, and this is it for today. Okay. If let's say you want to join our batch, then these are the batch details, right? For any queries, you can obviously contact our counselors, and we can stay connected via Telegram, right? Here you can ask all your queries. On our channel, we also keep on conducting sessions with various faculty members, as in Q&As, and you can clarify all your doubts, general doubts about colleges, etc., etc., through this channel, right? And yes, you can follow us on various social media platforms, particularly if you're interested in learning some GK, right? Some general knowledge. We keep posting GK related stuff there. Okay. Welcome, welcome, Sonali. Thank you, Sanil. That's indeed a good suggestion. I'll think about this. Right now, I'm busy making some content. Welcome, welcome. Bye. Okay, grammar sessions. Yes, more are coming. RC sessions, I'll request the team. Okay. Welcome. Bye.